What happens when a late-night host crosses a line and a former president unleashes his fury on live television? What starts as playful banter erupts into a fiery clash of egos, pride, and unfiltered venom that leaves audiences stunned and producers racing to cut the feed. Before we dive into this jaw-dropping spectacle, hit that subscribe button and share in the comments your thoughts on public figures losing it in front of millions. It was a typical Tuesday night on The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon. The studio buzzed with anticipation, the air charged with the energy of a high-profile guest. Spotlights blazed, cameras whirred, and the live audience clapped as the band played its lively intro. Fallon bounded onto the stage, flashing his signature smile, cracking quips, and warming up the crowd with his easy charm. But tonight wasn't just another celebrity chat. The guest was Donald Trump, and the atmosphere crackled with unspoken tension. Everyone, Fallon, the audience, the crew, knew this could be unpredictable. No one could have guessed how fast it would spiral into chaos. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Donald Trump," Fallon announced with theatrical gusto. The crowd roared, some cheering, others murmuring, phones already raised to capture the moment. Trump strode out, exuding confidence, his red tie impeccable, his grin wide, waving as if addressing a rally rather than a studio audience. He gripped Fallon's hand, settled into the guest chair, and adjusted his jacket with a flourish. "Jimmy, great to be here," he said, his voice warm but carrying a faint edge. The stage was set for what seemed like a routine interview, but a storm was brewing. The first few minutes were standard late-night fare. Fallon lobbed soft questions about Trump's latest projects, his resorts, his media ventures, his golf game. The audience chuckled as Fallon tossed in light jabs asking if Trump's next move was a reality show or a branded energy drink. Trump laughed, firing back with his own playful barbs. It was safe, scripted, entertaining. But beneath the surface, something simmered, waiting for a spark. Then Fallon leaned in, his smile still there but his tone sharpening. "So, Mr. Trump, let's talk business. There's been some chatter lately about your financial claims. Some folks say you've been, well, a bit imaginative with the numbers." The audience let out a collective, "Ooh," half amused, half tense. Trump's smile stiffened. "Imaginative?" he said, his voice tightening. "Jimmy, I've built an empire bigger than anyone who's ever sat here. My businesses, my properties, they're gold, always have been." Fallon gave a nervous laugh, trying to keep things light. Sure, but I mean, there've been reports, right? Investigations, audits." Trump's eyes narrowed, cutting him off. "What reports? Fake news, Jimmy. Total garbage." The air in the studio shifted, like a sudden chill. The audience tittered uneasily, unsure if this was part of the act. Fallon, sensing the tension, pushed forward, perhaps too far. "I'm just saying, when multiple sources, independent ones, all point to the same thing." "Multiple sources?" Trump snapped, his voice rising. "You mean a bunch of liars copying each other's lies? I thought you were smarter than this, Jimmy. I thought you got how this game works." The crowd's laughter faded into murmurs. Phones were out, recording every second. Fallon's grin faltered, but he pressed on. "I get facts, though, and the facts say there have been issues with your financials." Trump leaned forward, his tone icy. "Facts? You want facts? I built a multi-billion-dollar empire. I was president of the United States. I've done more than most people could dream of. Those are facts." Fallon's jaw tightened. "And here's another fact. Auditors have flagged inconsistencies in your statements. Multiple times." The studio fell silent, save for the hum of cameras and a nervous cough from the crowd. Trump's face flushed. "You know what, Jimmy? I came here for a real conversation, not to be ambushed with this nonsense." "I'm not ambushing you," Fallon shot back, his voice sharper. "I'm asking questions any host would ask." Trump smirked, venom in his eyes. "Host? You're a comedian, Jimmy. You play games with celebrities. Don't pretend you're some investigative reporter." The audience buzzed, phones capturing. The escalating drama. Producers in the control booth whispered frantically, but neither man noticed. Fallon's expression hardened. "You're right, I'm a comedian, but even I can spot a pattern. And the pattern is you dismissing every question as fake news, every fact as a conspiracy." Trump slammed his hand on the chair, startling the front row. "Conspiracy? This is a witch hunt, Jimmy. Always has been. People hate my success, so they make up lies to tear me down." Fallon didn't flinch. "Success? You mean inflating numbers and hoping no one notices? That's not success, that's deception." "How dare you?" Trump roared, his face contorting with rage. "How dare you call me a liar on live TV? I've been honest with the American people my entire life." Fallon, now emboldened, fired back. "Honest? You claimed one of your towers had 10 extra floors. You boosted your brand's value whenever it suited you. That's not honesty. That's fiction." "Lies!" Trump shouted, spittle flying. "Complete lies. My buildings are exactly what I say they are. My wealth is exactly what I say it is." Fallon stood, unable to stay seated, his voice trembling with intensity. "You're not the one who got caught misleading banks. You're not the one hit with fraud judgments. That's all you, Mr. Trump." Trump surged to his feet, fists balled. "Those courts were rigged. The judges, the system, it's all corrupt and you know it. You're just too weak to admit it." Fallon pointed at him, unflinching. "Weak? Weak is dodging accountability, while taking credit for everything. That's your move." The audience sat frozen, eyes ping-ponging between the two men. Some whispered nervously, others recorded with shaky hands, capturing a moment spiraling out of control. Trump's voice dropped to a low growl. "You know your problem, Jimmy. You're envious. Envious of real power, real success." Fallon laughed, sharp and bitter. "Envious? Of what? Endless lawsuits? Hundreds of millions in penalties? Being a late-night punchline?" Trump's face turned scarlet. "Punchline? I was president. I led the greatest nation on earth. I dealt with world leaders, and you think I'm a joke? I think you're a man who built a myth and got caught," Fallon said, his words slicing through the tension. "Your whole life's been a performance, and now the curtain's falling." The room froze. Trump stepped closer, inches from Fallon, his voice a hiss. "You have no idea who you're talking to, you little nobody." Fallon didn't back down. "I'm talking to a guy who's about to walk off because he can't handle the truth." Trump's laugh was cold, hollow. "Walk off? I don't run, Jimmy. I finish what I start, and I'm going to finish by telling you exactly what you are." The crowd leaned in, breathless. Fallon crossed his arms. "Go on, then. Let America see the real you." Trump's voice shook with rage. "You're a spineless hack who got lucky. You hide behind jokes because you can't handle the real world. You're a symptom of everything wrong with this country." Fallon's hands trembled, but he held his ground. "And you're a fraud who bullies anyone who challenges you. You can't take the heat when someone calls you out." The two men stood nose to nose, shouting over each other, accusations flying. The audience no longer laughed or gasped. They watched, paralyzed, as late-night TV turned into a verbal cage match. "Back off!" Trump bellowed, pushing Fallon back. Fallon stumbled but caught himself. "Are you threatening me on live TV?" "I'm demanding respect," Trump roared. Fallon laughed sharply. "Respect? For lies? For intimidation? Respect is earned, and you've earned nothing but headlines." Trump's face was a furnace of fury. "I've earned more than you'll ever know. I've built more, achieved more than you could ever imagine." "You've built a house of cards," Fallon snapped, "and it's collapsing." The words landed like a bomb. Trump froze, mouth open, no words coming. Then, in a low, trembling voice, he said, "I'm done. Done with you. Done with this pathetic show." "Then go," Fallon replied, unflinching. Show the world who you really are. Trump turned, stormed off stage, each step a thunderclap. Cameras caught every moment. The clenched jaw, the blazing eyes, the exit that marked the most explosive late-night meltdown in history. Fallon stood alone, breathing hard, staring at the empty chair. The audience sat in silence, unsure whether to react or simply leave, and so ended the night Jimmy Fallon and Donald Trump clashed in a raw, unscripted showdown, exposing egos, tempers, and truths for all to see. What do you think? Have you ever witnessed a late-night moment this raw? Share in the comments which part shocked you most, and pass this along to someone who needs to see what happens when the cameras roll and the gloves come off.